I just keep on finding things to talk about that I find interesting, and nobody else has to. I think it's been my whole life, and this is why some people, names not mentioned, are they they're used to me talking, and they just kind of tune me out, which is perfectly acceptable. Anywho, I was going through my bin of garage doors, and because this is one of my garage doors, it's in this piece right here that I'm going to be working on momentarily, but not in this video. It's probably going to be my next video. But I ordered a long time ago 6 bottom pieces, because I got 6 garage doors in yellow. So instead of just having the one nub at the top, there's be 2 of them, just like this black one has. So I had 6. The issue with the garage doors in this layout is that they often fall out, and it's just very annoying because the pieces are not secure enough. I keep on meaning to fix it, so I might try that today, but highly doubt it. But I misplaced one of the 6 yellow pieces, so I have 5 bottoms and not 6. So I may, and I don't know if I'm going to, but I may make another Bricklink order. See, this is what it's supposed to look like. Let me bring this over here. So you can see that, and this is the one that always falls out. And you can see this one. It's double black on the bottom. C'est la vie. So I honestly don't know where it is. I know it's possibly in this room. It's not in the layout boxes. I would have seen it. So, and the one yellow piece that's left in there is not a bottom piece. It's just a regular panel. And so I will figure it out at some point. But whilst I was getting this bin garage door panels out and to fix that one, and to get my baggie of garage door panels that are trans yellow, woohoo, which is why I'm going to be working on that. So I'm going to be changing the clear to trans yellow, which is going to bring me no end of happiness. So while I was doing that, I keep all my garage door pieces in a bin that says garage door pieces, and it has the 1x14s and blah blah blah, and all the 1x2s that I have ish. I have more, but since that bin was mostly, I won't say empty, but there's a lot of empty spots in it, I just started throwing all my badges to all the various events that I went to into that bin. And so this is the point of this conversation. So the tangents for a way of getting there, and a little meandering to get to the 3-minute mark to tell you what I'm going to talk about this episode of, So this is going way back to the hobby show. No, there's no coherent order. I'm just going to grab them, bring them out. The first hobby shows we did, Alan Bedford was running, I think 2 or 3 years, and then Dave, I'm busy, so can you? Absolutely. He was meticulous and awesome as a show host liaison to the hobby show. I just told my friends that we have this area and we have to fill it up. And they showed up. So slightly different management styles. I do appreciate Alan's management style. I really did. It's just not who I am. And I will say this, when Alan ran the show, it was a lot more professional. It really was. When I ran the show, show up and see what happens. There's give and take to both. So that's the hobby show. This is the Christmas train show. I don't know which Christmas train show, because they didn't put dates on them, because there's a few Christmas train show. So obviously we were still going to the Christmas train show when Josh was around, but Sandy and I met at the Christmas train show back in 2004. We met at November. It'll be like next month. It'll be our 20th anniversary of hanging out together next month. November 17th, I believe. And they didn't change their badges over all those years. So I don't know if this is my first one or the one I attended with Josh. So that's the hobby show, Christmas show. This is the same people ish, the Toy Train and Doll Collector Show. So this is Sandy's already married to me, but it could have happened anytime in there. The Doug and Frank Show, basically, is what I used to call it. The Doug and Frank Show, and their wives, and their family, and it was always good. The Christmas Train Show was a little different than the Toy Train and Doll Show. The Christmas Train Show was basically one giant room in the hall, 1 or 2 or 5 out back, probably 5, I think, at the International Center in Toronto. The Toy Train and Doll Show, they had 2 big rooms, one for the layouts and some of the sales guys, and one for vendors. And if you had this, you could sneak into the other side at the beginnings, first bunch of years, and then they started charging you, even if you had one of these, to go in to see the vendors. I picked up some really good used Lego lots with the vendors because they were just selling stuff, almost like a garage sale. And Jeff and I would walk around and sometimes find Lego, and so that was fun. It's another Ontario Brick Builders is what we used to call ourselves. So this is an older one. We were OBB, Ontario, which is why the railing on the space layout says OBB CSL, because it was the Ontario Brick Builders Classic Space Layout. That's what it was for the longest time. Jeff and I were OBB, and we made a Classic Space Layout, OBB CSL. And kind of the OBBs kind of just faded away, kind of like RTL Toronto, just faded away. And so now it's just the CSL, the Classic Space Layout, or as I like to call it now, the Cassiopeia Sierra Lunar Base. Anyway, so Kids Fest. Kids Fest was always a joy. We've been to 3 or 4 or 10 of them, I don't know. Our friend Kevin runs it, and anytime he calls me, I'm going to be there. It's one of my favorite shows, although the kids are all hopped up on cotton candy and jumping up and down the bouncy castles, which was my first experience with it. But still, my first experience, even though it was the worst experience I've ever had at a show for 5 minutes, still a fantastic show. And we redeemed ourselves in subsequent shows, and I never had a bad experience again. So that was fun. This one, Anime North. Toro Lug. Yay, Toro Lug. Anime North 2023. Fantastic. I think that was my 3rd time. This is 2023 was my 2nd time. This year was my 3rd time. I've been to, I think, 3 of them now. I adore Anime North. It's absolutely fantastic. The cosplay is just out of this world. All the people who run it are very, very nice. Really, just a fun show the entire weekend. And it's 3 days, and they give us rooms. so the other thing is it's free for us, and we get to meander around. But Toro Lug puts on a good show for Anime North. This one, I honestly am trying to remember it. Maple Leaf Train Show, Toronto Lego Club. I honestly do not remember this one. I don't know when it took place. I don't remember the Maple Leaf Train Show. I remember the Toy Train and Doll Show. I remember the Christmas Train Show. But this could be a Doug and Frank show, possibly. Same kind of rating. So I'm thinking I'm going to chalk it up to a Doug and Frank show. Which I enjoyed. Again, we're back to Christmas train shows with me. Another Christmas train show with me. We did a lot. Collector train show with Toronto. Yeah, so the Maple Leaf train show is exactly the same because it's exactly the same Toronto Lego group. More Toronto Christmas train show with Sandy's. Brickomania! Yay, Brickomania! My friend Dave. I adored this show. I adored all my shows, but this one, because it was brought to me by friends, and I got to drive to La Belle Provence, not La Belle Provence, and hang out with my Dave for a weekend and bug him, and all my other friends from K-Lug. This was a great show, and the venue was fantastic. I'm gonna say that I really enjoyed the venue. The only downside is that the hotel was not attached to the sports complex. You had to drive, but that's such a small, piddly little thing I didn't care. But this was a fantastic show, and I hope to get there next year. Sandy again. I don't think I'm supposed to have this. I think I'm supposed to turn it in because they're supposed to give it, but I'll remember it for the next Turolug event. So this is just a Turolug sign that we wear at Anime North or whatever shows we're doing. So that's Turolug 2024 Anime North. Fantastic. Again, this was a brick awesome. It was great. This is the day I lost my gallbladder. But so that's not the fault of the show. The show was great. Up in Barrie, 1 day show. So there it is, Ontario Brick Builders, Brick Awesome 2019. Yes, it was. It was fantastic. I brought the space layout, and I didn't mind. For a show that a friend's running, because a friend was running this Brick Awesome show, I do not mind setting up the layout for a day. I don't mind at all. If it's not a friend running a show, I don't want to set up for a day. But if you're a friend, then I will absolutely show up. Oh, Sandy's Turolug thing too. I got, wow, three bricks in the 6. They're all from 2023. Sandy, me, and Josh, possibly. Bricks in a 6, a really good current show. Absolutely gonna look forward to this year, and do stuff and mug people and display layout and probably spend let me phrase this correctly, an inordinate amount of time around the space layout, like I always do. And then we get the best and last. And if you don't know where this is going, you really have no clue who I am. This is the best, the top drawer, the pinnacle of any show that I've done ever in my entire life. And I did it for a bunch of years. I didn't get to all of them. My small regret in my life. Brick fat, brick fat, brick fat, brick fat. Brick fat. And I didn't even get to this one, but I did pay for it. So I did not get to the Montreal brick fat, but I was supposed to go, and I can't remember what happened now. I honestly, work or something. I honestly don't remember. I have a bad memory about that kind of blocking stuff out. But brick fat 2014 with Josh. Brick fat exhibitor pass does not have a date on it. Brick fat Hamilton, Ontario. Brick fat 2011, fantastic. Montreal, yeah, I mentioned Montreal. Again, I love shows when I know the person running it and they're a friend of mine. Brick Awesome, friend of mine. Bricks in a 6, friend of mine. I like to think. Brick Fat, friend of mine, absolutely one of my closest Lego friends ever. So she slept in his house. The weekend I met Sandy, my friend, didn't want to, she lives way up north and she didn't want to commute, and who wants to rent a hotel? So we crashed here. Well, I crashed here anyway, because I didn't mind the commute from the International Center back to here every night. But she came over and we were doing the Toy Train and Doll show, or probably the Christmas Train show. And she said, "Hey Dave, can I crash at your place?" Absolutely. And so that was way back then. And then she started brick fat. So I will not ever, if she calls and I'm not bleeding out my eyes, I'm going to show up. That's just simple as that. She is one of my most favorite people ever. And as I say, I became friends with Doug and Frank. They have both passed on now, which is kind of sad. From what I Frank passed away when we're still doing the shows, but I talked to, I think, anyway, it doesn't matter. They were fun to work with. I did not know them beforehand, but because we did a ton of shows with them, spring, fall, Christmas, like 3 a year, doing shows with them, and they were just lovely people. So I had no problem showing up all the time for their shows. And as I say, Brick Awesome, very good friend of mine, ran that, and so I showed up for that. For a one-day show. I had other shows, like a whole bunch of other nondescript, I want to say not really nondescript, but not where I would have a name tag. There was the Ontario Collector Con in Mississauga. I did those 2 years in a row. That's when I first brought the boxes to a show. my first year with the boxes. Nice guy, straight up nice guy. I can't remember his name, Colin or something. I liked the show. I just felt a little uncomfortable for me. I was literally the only exhibitor in the entire, because I asked. they didn't have exhibitors. I asked, can I exhibit? And they said, absolutely. And then they put me right next to the entrance, which was great, and the big foyer, which is exactly the same room that we were in for Bricks and the Six. And so all the vendors and sales guys were behind in the big room, and I was in the hallway, the entrance hallway. And right across from me was whoever signing autographs that weekend, wrestlers or actors or whoever. So I got to sit there and watch them all day. So there was that. I just felt I didn't know them very well. The first show was great. The second show was really great. And because then that's when Kevin and Callum showed up. So there was 3 of us putting on a display, and they put us right next to the big bay window. And if you look at one of my videos, I can't remember one year, and the layout is in front of the big floor to ceiling windows. And so you got the sun shining in, and it's just, oh, I mean, the layout in the sun is so, but I called him up for a 3rd time. I said, oh, I'll come up to your next show. And he goes, oh, I'm going to put you in the basement in the far back corner. I'm not interested. I'm just not. No, maybe it would have been good. I don't know. I just, again, it's also, they were one-day shows. So I think that wasn't the impetus for me disliking one-day shows, but that was kind of the end of me doing one-day shows. A few times in there, I did the Ancaster Collector show up at the Ancaster Fairgrounds. I liked that one, but again, it was a one-day show, and again, I was the only exhibitor. And then it was just a completely off-the-wall one. And Etobicoke, or Joseph, the then president of Turolug, said to me, "Hey, Dave, do you want to do the show? It's at the some recreation center, the city center, and they would love to have you." And that's when I met Doug's wife again, from the Toy Train and Doll shows, and she was doing a little vendoring herself there, and we had a really nice chat because I hadn't seen her in a decade, so that was nice. And then one just popped in my head and flew. Oh yeah, the Mississauga Comic Con. Really nice little show, and I don't have to bring the layout. It's too small for me to bring the layout, so that's always good. But I bring something small. I've done that show twice, and I loved them both times. And it's not like huge like the Anime North Comic Con, but it's just a Mississauga local Comic Con, and they have artists there and face paintings and all that stuff. It's more of a hobbies and craft thing for the kids, and there's some people downstairs that are, you know, comic book experts, whatever. It wasn't a huge worldwide event. It was just Mississauga. It was at City Hall or whatever it was. Loved it, absolutely loved it. I will say, the shows I've done with Turolug, like seriously, I love doing shows. And I love not running shows. So because I used to run them, or be the liaison between us and the showrunners. And I didn't mind that because, of course, I had a whole group of people behind me from RTL Toronto that would always show up. It was always the usual suspects would show up every single show, and some parenthetical people would show up most of the shows, and some people show up for one show, whatever. But I had a core group of about 10 people that, hey, Dave, you're putting on a show. We're going to be there, and I didn't have to worry about it. I never had to worry about it. But I'm not part of I am part of a lug right now, but I'm not in on the end. I'm not in the executives. I just show up when I feel like showing up, and I like that right now. So, but back in the day, I could fill a space at a show extremely easily, and not just with my stuff. I had a solid group of people that would show up at shows with wonderful displays. And then we sit and chat all weekend. So I will say, I have this business card from Kerry George, marketing manager, Lego Canada Inc., 45 Merle Street, Richmond Hill, Buttonville, I think it's called. I think we got this business card when we did the tour with RTL Toronto, if if I remember correctly. I don't know what year this is. Doesn't matter. I got a business card. And then I got another business card, but it's actually in the form of a minifig, and I think they're all in the layout right now. I don't think they're over there. Yeah, we got 3 of those, and I mentioned that story before, and I'm not going to dig them up right now. But see, this is my problem. It's not okay. It's not my problem. This is where I'm coming from. Like, I love shows. I love Lego. I love displaying. I love being part of an event like that. I mentioned before about the stories and people coming straight up to layout and blah blah. I don't have to revisit those, but I adore shows. I adore building for shows. I adore displaying at shows. I really love hanging out with friends at shows because that's always awesome. And I do feel straight up that I don't do enough shows, because back in the day I would do 5 or 6 a year. Now it's like 3, which is fine because I am older now. So it's not a biggie. And having the layout up for more than one day makes me exceedingly happy, which is why I'm going to love Bricks in the Six again, because it's up for 4 days. I'm less looking now for shows. There was a few, I think it was right before COVID and right after COVID. I started really calling up the Woodstock, the train show, and these people over there, and hey, do you want to, can I exhibit there? Oh, we'll call you back. And they never did, and that's fine. Again, I'm not losing sleep and sitting by the phone waiting for them to call me. But there was a few shows that I called in the area that I wanted to go to with the layout, and it didn't happen, and that's perfectly acceptable. The one I do miss is that we did it one time. It was right down there. I mentioned this. I keep on mentioning this, at the Hamilton Steam Museum, open doors, and lovely show, absolutely lovely show. I missed doing that one. I keep on looking for it again, so I could do it again. And it is, I don't know if I'm looking in the wrong spot or whatever, but I would love to display down there again for the weekend. Yeah, so I've done literally a ton of shows, not as many as some, and I don't have badges for all of them, probably not even half of them. I can almost guarantee that's not half the badges that I should have if I kept track of all my shows. And as I keep on talking, I remember other shows that I've done, but we don't have to go into them. But I do keep those because it's nice. It's a nice reminder of all the wonderful times I've had at shows, and half of those are from people that I personally know and consider friends, and I really appreciate that. I appreciate them for throwing on a show that I just show up and put my space layout there and harass people and bug people and walk around, and I have no responsibility whatsoever beyond setting up a layout and saying hi to people. I like that now. I don't want to be in on any executive committee. I don't want to be on any whatever. I just want to show up, display, and talk to bore people to death with my stories and listen to their stories. That's my favorite part of the shows now, is other people's stories. Yeah, that's where I am right now. But every once in a while, I'll go in there and I'll just pick out a name tag and it's, oh yeah, that was fun. Anywho, I'm gonna start trans yellow garage doors. I'm gonna start that. So I'm gonna bring this back over here, and I'm not gonna do a video about it because I'm already 24 minutes into this one. But I'm gonna do another video discussing this. This is the oldest, literally the oldest thing on the layout as it is today. So that's it, that's all. You guys stay safe, and I will talk to you soon.